I'm Terri Trespicio, and I'm a media personality and lifestyle expert and coach. And I work with individuals, corporations, brands, anyone who has something to say but isn't sure how to say it or who to say it to. So whether someone's trying to develop content for their website or trying to develop their online dating profile, I help them figure out what it is they're trying to say and what they're going to get as a result. Terri Trespicio, I'm really psyched to be here. Thank you for the BC Council for Women, for Caroline O'Brien, and all of her team who've made it just such a wonderful event. Thanks for having me. There's too much information. There's too much to handle. How do I wrap my brain around it? How do I keep up? And when we think about this, it's easy to point to all of the very new tools that we have open to us. We say, oh, Facebook, Twitter, and all the internet, oh, that's too much. This stuff's been around for like 2 seconds. And yet it's not the first time humans have felt overwhelmed. There's a fear that you can't keep up, that you're gonna miss the train, you're gonna miss the boat, whatever form of transportation you fear missing most. The fear is I'm not doing the right thing, and I'm not gonna know, and there's too much information, I can't find out what I'm supposed to know. As if the answer's out there, what you're supposed to be doing, which by the way, it's not. But I was lost, and I did not, I had AOL. I mean, that's what we had. That was it. So, I mean, it wasn't like, I didn't know what a chat room was like. I was like, I don't even know how to maybe dial into my email, and you had to wait till it dialed in. This is not a network that, but I still had my fears. I still had my imagination, which was, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something else, something better. I'm messing up. Why aren't I doing something? I was paranoid. Not paranoid, more like just afraid to move forward. And my mother just begged me, please just get a job somewhere. You'll start your life if you just get a job and meet people. I said, no, I can't get a job, because if I get a job, I'll be stuck there. And what if it's not the right job? I'm stuck there and I hate it and I can't get out and my life is over. I was 22 years old. I mean, I could not. I temped for a year miserably in jobs I wasn't connected to because I was afraid of doing something that would be the wrong thing. Just do something, do something. Like, I wish someone had told me that I would have choices and that I'm not gonna be locked in and that you can change careers and you can do whatever you want. At 22, I thought I had no options and nothing to look forward to. And nothing could have been further from the truth, but I couldn't see it. So when you get hung up with the little things, oh, this job, that job, or it's bigger than that. You're bigger than this job now. And quite frankly, many of you will have like 11 jobs in the next 30 years. So, I just wish I had not been so fearful. I was absolutely terrified. My life is fairly anxiety-ridden and completely joyless. And I spent many nights watching Seinfeld reruns in my underwear, eating fried rice. So please, if you're doing better than that, you're probably doing better. Think, well, if I were really a cool young adult, I would be wearing a sparkly top and be cavorting about on a roof deck with a lot of hot guys. I said, that's what you're supposed to be doing, says Michelob. Like, what do I have to look at? Like a beer ad, that's it. My fear is that, my God, I'm so glad I'm not you. Because if I had Facebook, I would have just been like, scroll, scroll, everyone has a better life, scroll, scroll. Because all you do is see people with their dogs and their friends and boyfriends and they're at concerts or at the beach, and I would have been like, just as I imagined, I'm missing the boat. It's easy to start to believe that what you see in the media, in any kind of media, is the real thing. And it can be really sort of disappointing, right? Because you think, well, I'm supposed to be doing something, I'm not doing it. FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. So tonight we're gonna explore a little bit about what it means to live our digital lives, because we're living mediated lives, and we are mediating them. We have a really incredibly sophisticated suite of tools that we use that we expect will make our lives better somehow, faster, and we'll explore whether that's really possible. But we're not just consumers anymore. We are creators, we're collaborators, we're contributors. Anything that we see or read or hear can be shared and commented on. You're either taking things in and reading and consuming, or you're putting something out there, often at the same time. So that means that anything can kind of springboard a conversation. Anything can start a conversation, and you can be part of almost any conversation. And what you put into that conversation matters. Anyone who makes you think that they're the expert, it's been around again for 2 seconds. There's no way anyone knows. There's people who have been successful, wildly successful, and have gone somewhere with it. And look at me, I have 10,000 Twitter followers. Like, okay, we don't know how they got them. Are those followers engaged? We look at the numbers. We can, oh, they really know what they're doing. Yeah, no, they don't. I would question that. No one even knew about it 8 minutes ago. If that goes through your mind, that ticker tape, well, I'm not good at that, so I don't Twitter, I don't this. Stop defining yourself by things you don't do, because everyone just learned to do it Before social media, rewind, you had email. Before email, rewind, people would call you on the phone. That was awesome. What? I'm so glad we don't have that. Because I can't imagine trying to work and the phone rings, you have to answer it and you don't know who's calling. Who does? What? Oh, information overload. It's too much, like I said. Oh, it's too much. We can't handle it. We'll never be able to handle it. That, in fact, there is no such thing as information overload. Literally, there's no such thing. He says, and this is a direct quote, the concept of information overload doesn't work because as much as we'd like to equate our brains with iPods or hard drives, human beings are biological creatures, not mechanical ones. Our brains are as finite in capacity as our waistlines. That means not at all, by the way. That means, woo, doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want with it. What you take in determines how you are and who you are. It's your habit. It's what you decide to do and take in. It's just like diet. Does anyone get up and walk into like Star Market or something and go, how am I gonna eat all this food? I gotta eat all this food. Ah, so many chips, so little time. Like, no, you're not gonna eat all that food. No, of course not. Same thing with your information, diet. You decide what you're gonna take on. So what I hear is people saying, oh, I can't handle this too much. That is a lot, but we have to decide, and our habits determine it. And he says, information is neutral. Information isn't good. We think information's gonna seep into us and control our thought. No, it's not gonna do that. It just sits there and waits for you to do something about it. And that's why no matter how much information there is, people's lives often don't change because they don't choose to make them change. There's never been a time where we didn't have more information than one human could absorb, ever. But you have to remember that there's always been a moral freak out when any new technology comes along. And I mean any. You want to go way back? Socrates thought books were a bad idea. In fact, the only reason we know about Socrates is because someone else wrote it down because they didn't think books were a bad idea. But Socrates thought that books were a lousy idea because we would stop using our brains and rely on the book and we would lose something. We would stop committing the Iliad to memory. And oh God, what do we do then? Books were technology because when they were first able to be produced and shared, they posed a real threat. And people looked at books and thought, this is gonna mess everything up. It's gonna put crazy ideas in our head. Oh my God, the church freaked out. Don't read books except the Bible. That books were gonna be a threat to everything. Now we look at oh books, how we have loved thee. You were so good to us. We were afraid of books, and now we look at books as if, oh, things should be back to books. It doesn't matter. And this is media, right? I mean, I'm sure TV isn't even that long ago that TV was introduced, really, and people were, of course, terrified that that was gonna steal your soul, too. In fact, a non-media example is that when railroads were first introduced, there were very serious experts who said that we could not have trains moving that fast. Because if you put a woman on a train going 50 miles per hour, there was a really good chance that her uterus would fly out of her body. I mean, I can't tell you how many times on the Amtrak, it's so embarrassing. I reached her. How many times do I have to embarrassingly scoop up my uterus off the ground, you know? So that sounds crazy, but anything that you think is crazy, someone thought was a real thing. The same goes for social media. There's no doubt there is a threat to our focus, to our privacy, to our ability to concentrate on one thing because it's so tempting. It's just like this itch that was created, like this social media rash, we have to scratch it. And I am no different. I am totally sucked into it. And I've encouraged myself to be sucked into it, not only because I'm a social media sort of consultant for companies, and if I'm gonna teach people why it's so valuable, I need to do it myself, and then all of a sudden, it can feel like it's an overload. So what do you do to create a better digital diet? Because before we get into what you put out there, we have to think about what you're taking in. It's whatever you take in is gonna shape not just your thoughts today, but your beliefs. It's gonna shape your interests, your network, and your career. These things matter. So feed yourself well. Simple things to keep in mind are to prioritize, to think about what's important for you, your interests. Maybe you're really into politics and tech. Or maybe it's fashion and marketing. I mean, don't feel guilty that, oh, if I only focus on this, I shouldn't be focusing on other things. This is the time in your really fertile ground, in your brain, in your career, in your life, to really dig into things that interest you. So allow that to serve you and serve those needs. Select your tools for doing that. And it used to stress me out thinking, well, I have to remember to go to all these websites. No, no one goes to all these websites anymore. You might visit a bunch every day, but there's so many tools. And I mean, you can just obviously find them out as easily as I did, of how to just use tools to create the flow of information you want. Do you ever think you don't get around to the stuff you really care about? Make that your priority. Use tools that help you do that. So rather than think there's too much, think I'm going to use the digital tools to straighten out my digital diet. Kind of like when you like your farmer's market and you only like to buy the tomatoes from your farmer's market. Nothing wrong with that. You have the power to become an expert. Now, what is an expert? You tend to think, well, an expert's someone who went to Harvard and they have a PhD. Okay, there are experts like that. There's also a whole boatload of people who do not have a PhD, like me, and who call themselves experts, which I do. I'm expert in certain areas. What I don't know could fill the entire universe, obviously. I feel like there's a lot I don't know. But I really know what I know well, and I have an opinion about it. And when you allow yourself to know something enough to have an opinion about it, that's when you start to become expert. You don't have to become an expert tomorrow or next year. But if there's things that interest you that you want to create a career out of, allow yourself to sort of throw roots down deep in that soil and be able to connect with it and have a feeling about it. Because that is all an expert is, as I'm finding. An expert is someone who's had a little experience in an area and has a real opinion about it and has their own tribe that they connect with and know what they think about a certain thing. So that moves us into the part of the talk that I like to call brand you. Brand you. Let's talk about what it means to have a brand. And it almost has become a marketing cliche to say that everyone is their own brand. Your brand is what you're contributing through all of your different social media networks, whatever you do. You blog, you tweet, you write for whatever publication you write for, or do whatever. Anything where you leave your mark and your fingerprint is your brand. Before people had brands, they had reputations. And reputations are good, but they follow you. They are reactionary, like what do people think of what you did? Brand requires action on your part. It's intention. But whenever you post something, whenever you say something, that is your brand. Your brand is part intention, part reputation, part who you are now, and part who you want to be. And that's the important part because a brand grows and expands and changes with you and with your interests. But you have to decide what's important to you and how public you want to go with the opinions that you have. People will forget, but the internet won't. And so you don't want, I mean, I have a horrible headshot of me that was taken years ago that I cannot stamp out for the life of me. It just pops up places. It pops up. I'm like, where did that come? Who has that? Where is it coming from? Once you put something out into the world, you cannot get it back. So while part of branding is being careful about what you say, but not so careful that you say, oh, I better not say it. It's about really thinking about your response to the world and things that you really think. And if I believe in it and aligns with me and I'm sober at the moment, then yes, hit click send. Because you can control what you say, but not where it goes. They kind of want to know who you are. And if you're like, I just tweet political articles, like health articles, I think omega-3s are great. Like, okay, great, but come on, who are you? Giving people a chance to know who you are has an incredible strength to it. Anything that you wouldn't want on a billboard with your mother driving by, you probably shouldn't say to the public. You want to know that anything you say, you said intentionally, consciously, and that you can stand by it. And if your mom hears about it, at least secondhand, you're ready to defend it. If all the writers who have juicy stories didn't tell it because they'd be afraid of upsetting their mothers, there would be no books to read. Same thing goes for you. Who are you now? Who do you want to be? What do you want? And how much attention can you handle? I say this because really, you could get a lot of attention rather quickly with social media. There's so many people out there doing stuff, it's easy to think, ah, this is crazy. No, what? No one's going to know me or find my little thing. You say something that's hot and all of a sudden you're everywhere, like you have to be prepared for that too. Prepared for fame. I'm sure that's not something you woke up thinking you had to worry about. How would you do with a certain amount of attention? Are you ready to stand up for things you say? And I think that's a powerful place to be. If people don't disagree with you, then you're not saying something worth saying. But one of the most powerful things and why we're here tonight is the issue of connecting and networking. Now, I'll tell you right now, I hate the word networking. I think it's one of the most important things you'll ever do, but I hate the word. I'm sure you hate the word. It wasn't meant to be a verb, like a lot of things. It's like networking. It's like, it just sounds awkward. And it sounds like, I'm gonna go to a room full of people and see if I can get them to do what I want. See if I can get them to give me stuff. And that sounds terrible. It makes you feel like, I'm such a jerk. You know, like I'm gonna have to ask them and I hate asking. And you know how awkward that is? That is not what networking is. So I wanna change your mind about that now, since you're at an event where you are ostensibly gonna be networking in like 10 minutes. And I want you to think about it, it feels self-serving, and I know that. Now, in addition to being a speaker, writer, whatever, I do a lot of coaching and consulting. And I coach, actually I'm a dating coach. I help single people sort of figure out, and I don't try to get them married, because I'm not married, I have no interest in that myself. But I actually help a lot of people who are single understand what it means to be single and all the freedoms they have that people who are a couple don't have, sorry. But that is something that I love to do. And I also coach businesses. I consult. We call it consulting when you're consulting businesses. And I'm finding that the things I say to both are almost exactly the same thing. How do you connect with someone of value? How do you have something to say? And how do you make a connection that feels magical and right and works? And it works the same for both. And that's why you're here. So when you go into a networking situation, rather than thinking about what am I going to get or how am I going to know if I got it, you're really looking for three things: connection, engagement, and value. You're looking to offer those things and also define those things. But the metaphor I want you to leave with tonight is to think about not, well, I'll get to the metaphor in a minute. Go into networking situations thinking, what can I offer? What can I learn? And what can I share? The most powerful relationships I've had in my network, which has now had years to grow and I feed it regularly, is what I could do for other people. Not like I'm some big, oh, I'm the Mother Teresa of networking. But I know that the more I connect other people, the more it connects. There's a lot of people who are afraid of that. Well, that's my contact. I don't want to share my contact. Oh, she's going to know this person. They're going to be together and they're going to go off without me and oh, I'm going to miss out. It's called a network it's a web. It's not a train track. It's not a hallway. It's not supposed to just get you from you to there. The idea is that the more people you connect to each other, the bigger your network is. And so a lot of people treat networks like it's a grocery store. Oh, I'm just going to go in there when I need it. I'm going to thump a few melons and like get a job. Like, good luck with that. Because it's not a grocery store. It's a patch of dirt and you grow it. And the most amazing thing is you plant one seed and 10 things could pop up. It can, but you have to feed it, water it, you have to tend to it. So you don't go in, and this is my fear, don't park in a job for the next 5 years and be like, yeah, this is great. Oh, I just got laid off. Whoa, okay, now what? Better get networking. Really? That's like, it's snowing out, better plant some peas. It's like, really? It's a little late. Like, you should have been doing that all along. So one of the things that I'd say, if you spend a little time on every day, every week, is to stay connected. Always offer, always connect. You meet someone here, meet them for lunch. You say, well, I don't even know her. I don't know. What are we going to talk about? You'll find something. The more you connect and connect to other people, the stronger your web is. And that's the beauty of it. To love your career, and your career has to do with your vision and how deep you dig in to be connected to something that matters to you. Because you don't know where those jobs are going to come from. And someone you meet here today could hire you 5 years from now for the best project of your life. You don't know. So treat all those things as value, as potential life that could grow. I urge you to go home tonight and think about who you are, what you want, what you have to offer, and how you can get people together. How can you meet new people? This is so critical because you're early on, and you have all the power to do that now. Don't wait until you're laid off at 35 and have no friends because you blew everyone off because you had this sweet job. So tonight, rethink, how am I going to use social media to make my life more interesting for myself, better, more engaged? What you're saying and what you're trying to say is much more valuable. And you don't have to be a creative professional to have something creative and interesting to say. You all have interesting opinions. People would like to hear them. The volume is not the question. The truth is, as soon as I started tweeting regularly, I stayed on people's radar, and all of a sudden I was connecting with more people. That's important to me, is the connecting part. And basically, a set of tweets for the day is a paragraph split up into 140 characters each. Boop, 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 boop. I think of the thoughts, I schedule them, half hour apart, bang. And I also tweet through the day so there's some live, real, organic stuff about me and my life and what I'm doing. And you say, oh, who cares? Well, you put in a bunch of different things that you're doing. And you share ideas that you found. And let me tell you, I've had like 2, 3 new Twitter followers a day, which is kind of exciting because that wasn't how it was before. And in 1 week, I had 3 new clients. So don't tell me it doesn't work. The tools don't work, you work. And you have to work those tools. And thank you guys so much. This is really a lot of fun. Thank you.